as a Palestinian who comes from a refugee family, who experienced the occupation firsthand, who experienced racism and violence. What happened in that room was a second occupation for me. And every note they say peers into my existence. The Board of Trustees and Chancellor Wise today killed my soul and every wish I have to stay in this university. And I hold them responsible for that and whatever comes out of it. And it's not necessarily about Palestinians. You don't have to be Palestinian. You don't have to go to Palestine. You don't necessarily have to be pro-Palestinian to see that what's happening there is basically picking on a minority as a feeling peace to hatred and violence and aggression. That's what it is. And the question is, who's next? That's the question, right?
For the people who were either in attendance or who saw via live stream what happened, and to hear Board of Trustee Montgomery speak up against the... that was the only piece of hope, that was the only thing that gave us light in there today. That was the only example of some kind of hope. And for the Board of Trustees to completely disregard and to actually laugh off his comments and say, oh, now we want to see how you're going to vote. Ha 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 ha. That level of disregard demonstrates to us that this administration has no care for people of color on this campus, has no care for black, specifically in that situation, black perspectives and black lives, which totally is relevant to what we see going on in our communities, not just at the University of Illinois, but across the world. So to see that kind of level of disregard should be totally an alarm to us and our existence on this campus, not just for Palestinian students, as the man said, but for all of us minoritized population. So.
We have already on so many occasions in full length dismantled the administration's use, or rather abuse, of inclusivity to justify the unhiring of Steven Salaita. We have done so by speaking from the standpoints of students representing the university's diverse body. We have pointed out how Professor Salaita never posed a threat to us as students, and how the fact that he was unhired suggests a disregard for faculty shared governance, the autonomy of American Indian studies, and the value of Professor Salaita as a leading figure in the kind of interdisciplinary research he does. Today, we want to express how exhausted and frustrated we are by the processes we have been driven into to voice out our anger and productive critique of the university's policy. When we decided to join efforts as the Core 7, it was not because we had a choice and we chose the path of protest, but it was because we had to. It was urgent and important.